Let me start with the most important number you will hear today. That is 300 marks, 3 hours, and a paper that almost nobody fails. Yet almost nobody respects. English compulsory is a qualifying paper. For this, you have to qualify, you need 25%. That's it. So most aspirants treat it as an afterthought, glance at one PYQ the night before and walk in. The night before the exam and walk into the exam. Here is the problem for that. Every year, serious candidates, people who clear prelims, people who were write brilliant GS answers get derailed and get disqualified because they did not qualify this one paper. What happened? Why is this happening? So their entire mains is cancelled due to this disqualify. Because not because of the paper is hard, it is happening because they did not understand its shape. Today I am going to give you that shape. I have analyzed 13 years of papers from 2013 to 2025 general English compulsory paper line by line. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what is coming, what is changing, and where your marks actually live. So, for that, we are going to discuss each section one by one in general English compulsory paper. So, we are moving to the section number 1, that is architecture, that is also called structure. So, first, what is the architecture? As far as general English paper is concerned, from 2014 onwards, UPSC moved into a remarkably stable architecture that has stayed broadly unchanged till 2025. The same 5 question skeleton every year, year after the year, from 2014 to till 2025. So, what is the structure? What is the questions in the paper? The question number 1 in general English paper, that is essay. It consists 100 marks and you have to write 600 words. They will give 4 topics and you have to choose one topic and you have to write 600 words for the essay. 100 marks for the essay. So the question number 2 is comprehension. The comprehension has 75 marks. Comprehension consists of a passage with sub 5 questions, 5 sub questions. 50 marks is each carrying. So you have to read the comprehension and you have to answer the 5 sub questions. Each question carry 15 marks. This is regarding comprehension. Then moving to the question number 3, that is Précis writing. It carries 75 marks. Précis means they given one huge paragraph like essay. You have to read it and you have to compress that passage into one third of its length into meaningful compression is need of the hour here. So they will give you a passage, you have to read it very much clear and you have to compress with a meaningful compress to one third of its actual length. This is called as precise writing. Then we are moving to question number 4, that is grammar part. In this grammar part, we are having two parts. One is grammar part one, that is question number 4. It carries 25 marks. In this part, we are having corrections, missing words, verb forms, and antonyms. This is the grammar part number 1. Then moving to the question number 5, that is grammar part number 2. It also consists of 25 marks. It carries 25 marks. In this question, we are having transformations, vocabulary, confusables, and idioms. This is the overall structure of the general English paper from 2014 to till 2015. So in these 5 questions, first one is essay carrying 100 marks, then comprehension, they will give one passage, 5 sub questions, each sub question carrying 15 marks, total 75 marks. Then comes to the precise writing. They will give you a precise, they will give you a passage. You have to come, you have to read carefully, and after reading you have to compress a passage to one third. It's meaningful compression rather than random compression. So next one is question number 4, that is belongs to grammar. In this grammar part 1, it carries 25 marks. In this, corrections, missing words, verb forms, and antonyms. Then moving to question number 5, that is grammar part 2. In this, you have transformations, vocabularies, confusables, and idioms. In the question number 1, essay you have to write 600 words. They will give 4 topics. You have to choose one topic and you have to write in 600 words. That essay carries 100 marks. This is the total 300 marks. Please lock it in your head. And here is where the story gets interesting. Why? Go back to one more year from 2014 to 2013, and the paper looks genuinely different. In that, 2 essays instead of one, comprehension worth only 50 marks, 2 precise passages instead of a single major precise, and one large grammar block packed with micro skills. So 2013 paper was the experiment. So 2014 was the transition paper. The transition, the year of modern 5 question shape appears. And from 2015 onwards, it standardizes and holds. I have checked every paper from 2014 to 2025, and that broad architecture stays put. So plan for this structure with confidence, but never be so rigid that a surprise rattles you, because this is UPSC. So one quick snapshot I have to tell you, because someone will ask you like this: did the paper evolve? Barely. You have to say answer. Barely. And the shape of that change is the whole story. Because 2013 was experiment and 2014 was transition, and the 5 question structure is fully formed in the 2014 paper, and then standardizes, running broadly unchanged to till 2025 examination. So unlike other papers where the examiner's mindset keeps shifting here or there, so here, as far as general English compulsory paper is concerned, the change basically stopped. And when the format stops moving, one thing takes over as the deciding factor. What is that factor? That is execution. That is execution. Why execution is matters? Why? Because the format stops moving. Standardize the format. That is why execution is important. So once the structure stabilized, performance depend less on format surprises and more on executing familiar tasks consistently. So once the structure stabilized, performance depend less on format surprises and more on executing familiar tasks consistently. That is why you have to hold that idea. It is the whole idea. 2013 is experiment, 2014 is transition, and 2015 to 2025 standardization to change stopped. Here execution mattered more. So now let us break down each section by what the papers actually show. So here the section number 2 we are going to discuss in this platform, and question number 1 in the general English compulsory paper, that is the essay. It carries 100 marks. So what is the essay? Why are you going to give this very much importance for this topic, that is essay? The essay is worth the most because it carries 100 marks. But here is my honest take is, it is not where you win or lose this paper. I will prove that later. Why I am saying like this? For now, understand the topic trends across these years. Essay topics cluster into recognizable families. There are 3 to 4 cluster families. That is, number one essay cluster family, that is media, cinema, and technology. This is the single most repeated theme in the essay in this general English paper. Does Indian cinema reflect social reality? This question given in 2025. Information is not knowledge. And in the most recent paper, the raw material of cinema is life in 2025. And paper books are more attractive than their electronic formats in 2024. So this is the single most repeated theme because it is running in recent years also. That is media, cinema, and technology. Then comes to the second theme, that is environment and lifestyle. In this environment and lifestyle theme, they are asking minimalism, threats to environment, eating habits, and lifestyle in contemporary India. They asked in 2025 this lifestyle in contemporary eating habits India, the question. This is our recent questions 2024 and 2025. So this is the second theme, that is environment and lifestyle. So comes to the third part, that is society, education, and governance. Third theme, rural urban divide, women in politics. Education as a means to serve humanity. And here is the trend I want you to circle. What is the trend? The topics lean heavily toward the abstract and literary. Please look across the years like this. No man is an island. Folklore as a knowledge system. There is no place like home. And going right back to 2014, not everything that can be counted counts. And not everything that counts can be counted. These are aphoristic. They reward a candidate who can think conceptually, not one who memorized a current affairs essay. And notice that This is not new. The 2014 topic proves the aphoristic prompt has been part of the paper's DNA for over a decade. So, if you zoom out, every essay topic drops into just four buckets. What is that buckets? That is technology and media, society and governance, environment, and the ever present one, abstract reflection. The aphoristic prompts like no man is island, and the ever present one, abstract reflection. The aphoristic prompts like no man is an island, or there is no place like home. That's it. So don't prepare 100 topics. Prepare four buckets of examples, quotes, and arguments, and learn to bend whichever bucket fits the prompt in front of you. So you have to mold that examples, quotes, and arguments, whichever is fits the prompt in front of you. So the strategy is not to mug up 10 essays. It's structure. You have to. It's structure, clarity, and clean English. Those matter far more here than exotic content. So this is all about essay in as far as general English paper is concerned. Then we are moving to section number 3, that is comprehension. It carries 75 marks. This is question number 2 in the actual exam paper. That is question number 2, comprehension. It carries 75 marks. And this is where I have a warning for you. What is that warning I am going to give you? So for most of the last decade, comprehension passage were comfortable. That are concluding with that are consist with factual concrete prose like deserts and desertification in 2015, great apes and evolution in 2022, the biosphere in 2021. You could find the answer, lift the idea, rephrase it lightly, and score. So that era is ending. Watch the last 2 years carefully because this is the most important shift in the entire paper. So in 2024, the passage was a dense piece of post colonial argument. British rule justifying itself as a gift of social civilization. This is the 2024 comprehension. This is abstract, layered, and ideological. In 2025, it went even further. The passage from Mortimer Adler's How to Read a Book, Mortimer Adler's How to Read a Book, a text about logic itself, a text about logic itself, arguments, propositions, tautologies, self-evident statements. The question did not ask you to retrieve facts, but then what they asked, what does the easiest mean by self-evident propositions? And what are tautologies? You had to understand and explain, not copy. Here is a detail that should make you sit up. The same how to read a book territory appeared right back in 2014 also, when the comprehension passage was about building a complete reading program. So Adler's work effectively bookends this entire 12-year set, 2014 and 2025. So the examiner clearly links this well, and it's getting harder each time they return to it. So what is the takeaway here? So here's the takeaway is prepare for hard, prepare for hard, idea dense, conceptual passages. So practice reading philosophy, editorials, and academic prose. Train yourself to re restate an abstract idea in your own clear words. So the candidate who only practiced easy science passages is going to struggle in the next exam. So there is the point from retrieval to reasoning. In old era, comfortable and concrete prose till 2022. But in recent 2024, the dense post-colonial argument. In 2025, headlers how to read a book, propositions, tautologies, self-evident statements. You must explain, you don't copy. So the comprehension passages draw from just four wells. That is history, science and environment, values and philosophy, reading and knowledge. History, British rule, medieval invasions, young Bengal. Comes to science and environment, deserts, evolution, the biosphere. Comes to value and philosophy, Gandhi, Russell, and the soul. And reading and knowledge itself, the Adler passages, the knowledge society themes. The note you have to notice the drift. What is the drift? The early years lived more in the first two wells, history, science, and environment. But the recent years are moving into the harder two, that is philosophy and values, reading and knowledge. Philosophy and the nature of knowledge. So weight your reading practice towards those. So next one we are moving to question number 3, Précis. Précis writing. It carries 75 marks. Question 3, Précis carrying 75 marks. This is the most underprepared and most scoring section in the entire paper. If you take one thing from this video, take this. Look at the source material UPSC chooses. It is consistently literary and philosophical. Gandhi's Hindu Swaraj and the famous means and ends, robber parable, Bertrand Russell on construction versus destruction. Shashi Tharoor on world safe for diversity. APJ Abdul Kalam on the knowledge society. Sri Aurobindo on the Indian Renaissance. Louis Thomas on the value of making mistakes. A passage on Ashoka and Buddhism. And in 2025, a metaphysical passage on the soul and moral transcendence. Now notice the second trend. The passages are long and the recent ones are getting longer. The 2014 Tharoor Précis was 603 words in 2014. By 2025, it was 863 words, the longest in the whole set from 2014 to 2025. That means your one by third target is now nearly 290 words. Why is this a gold mine? Because Précis is a pure skill, not knowledge. There is nothing to memorize in it. It's a mechanical once you learn the method. Read it twice, identify the central thread, drop all examples and illustrations. Eliminate repetition. Write one third the length in your own words. No title. Master that process end. Master the process, and with consistent practice, candidates regularly score well into the 50s out of 75, while everyone around them you panics. Three rules the papers repeat every year. Write in your own words. Do not give a title and hit the length. Going significantly over or under costs you marks. Practice with a word count and a timer. Précis is where disciplined candidates quietly pull ahead. This is all about precise writing. Then we are moving to question number 4 and 5. That is grammar sections, where the paper is actually won. The question number 4 and question number 5 combined 50 marks. And this is my central thesis for the whole master class. This is where toppers, where disciplined candidates separate from everyone else. And almost nobody prepares it properly. Why? Why? Here is why. The essay is subjective. Even a great essay might score moderately. Comprehension is getting harder day by day. But question number 4 and question number 5, they are fully objective, completely predictable, and barely change year to year. The same subtypes appear every single time. In question number 4, sentence correction, subject verb agreement, articles, prepositions, the classic no sooner or hardly than drop. Supply the missing word, and it's almost always a preposition, on, off, among, from, towards, keep recurring. Verb forms, antonyms in question number 1. Then comes to question number 5. Transformations, active to passage, directive to indirect speech, neither nor, to, unless, question tags, degrees of comparison, and simple compound complex vocabulary in sentences, and confusable word pairs and idioms. So these are not random. They are fixed syllabus disguised as variety. And the repetition is almost comical once you see it. Let me show you the confusable pairs and corrections that physically repeat across different years. Make one revision sheet for make one revision sheet of the just this. Principal or principle, stationary or stationary appears in 2021. Sensual versus sensuous appeared in both 2020 and 2022. Foul, foul appeared in 2019, 2018, and again in 2025, three times. FOUL versus FOWL. Judicial versus judicious 2016. Affect, effect, practice, practice, adapted, adapted, canvas, canvas. So even whole correction sentences repeat. Time and tide waits for none. Showed up as a grammar item in 2015, 2016, and 2022. And leave no stone unturned appears as a verb form item in 2014 and as an idiom question in 2023. So here is the maths. The 50 marks predictable, repetitive, masterable in a few focused week of drilling. So yet most aspirants spend all their energy worrying about the essay and walk in cold on grammar. So you have to flip that. You can flip that. Make question number 4 and question number 5 your foundation. Lock down the bulk of those 50 marks and you have practically qualified before you even touch the essay. So then we are moving to the next part, that is the game plan. Because till now we are discussing the paper, sections, etc. So from now onwards, how to write an exam. So let me turn all of this into a concrete plan. Priority number 1, that is grammar. Question number 4 and question number 5. Highest return for least effort. So you have to drill correction, transformation, prepositions, confusable pairs, and idioms from every PYQ 2014 to 2025. These literally recycle. This is your safety net. That is the priority number one. Then what is the priority number two? Precis. This is the pure skill. Big marks within reach. You have to learn the method. Then practice one essay. Sorry. Then practice one passage every 2 or 3 days with a word count and a clock. Use the actual PYQ passages. Gandhi, Russell, Tarur, Kalam as your training set. As your training set. Then what is the priority number three? Comprehension. Shift your reading practice toward hard, abstract passages because that is the direction UPSC is moving. Train the skill of restating dense ideas simply. So this is the regarding priority number three. And priority number four, that is final priority, that is essay. Build your four buckets. What are the four buckets? Technology and media, society and governance, environment and abstract reflection. These are four buckets. Practice structure and clean prose. Don't memorize. Stay flexible for abstract prompts. And one more thing, one time management note for exam day. What is that? The grammar sections are fast and certain. Do them first to bank guaranteed marks and settle your nerves. Then you are moving to Précis, then comprehension. Save the essay for when you are warmed up. So the candidates who treat this paper with the structured respect it deserves don't just qualify. They qualify comfortably and free their mind to focus on the papers that actually decide their rank. So let me leave you with the one line that summarizes 13 years of analysis. That is, English compulsory is not a knowledge test. It is a discipline test. You do not qualify this paper by being fluent. You qualify it by being prepared. By being prepared. So the format is fixed. The grammar repeats. The Précis is a learnable skill. The only things rising are the abstraction of the comprehension and the length of the Précis. And now you know that too. So stop fearing this paper. Stop ignoring it. Spend a focused, structured month on it, and it goes from a hidden risk to one of the safest qualifying scores in your entire mains examination. If this breakdown helped, work through the previous year questions with this framework in hand. That is where the real preparation happens. All the best.